Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Hinsdale Central High School, home of the Red Devils and home of where the Dukes are looking to keep their undefeated record alive, currently 6-0, and looking to defeat the Hinsdale Central Red Devils, a team that they have not had a lot of success against in recent years, including last year, where they had a very infamous 17-point blown deficit, losing 27-23. Hinsdale currently has a 10-year or 10-game winning streak against the Dukes, so the Dukes really looking to break the curve. Hello, everybody. I am Gavin Connolly. To my right, as always, Josh Melvin. Kickoff moments away.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the year and the team that you would want to break your curse against, as Hinsdale Central has lost for the first time in 8 years to LT and the first time in 14 years to DGN this year. So it's about breaking curses for the opponents of Hinsdale Central.
Damian Glodz with the kick. Hinsdale Central will receive the ball first. Received at about the 2-yard line. Gets to the 25. And a pretty good return right there for Hinsdale Central. That was number 14. That was Loon Vandy. So a good return for him, and Hinsdale Central will set up shop on the 31-yard line.
At the 31-yard line of Hinsdale Central.
So now out comes the quarterback, Carter Contreras, number 5. He'll be under center for Hinsdale tonight. 4 wide to start the game. Now Contreras taking the snap, going deep on the first play, and he's got a receiver. Oh, just out of the outstretched arms of number 11. That was intended for Farouk Alumaka.
Yeah, I mean, that was a big play. That would have been a big play if completed, but unfortunately doesn't go their way, as it hasn't gone the way of Hinsdale Central's offense for the majority of the year, only scoring 108 points so far, which I think brings them to a total of about 18 points per game, and only 19 total points in all 3 of their losses, and almost half of their points, 51 of them, came against a shutout against Proviso East. So not really a stellar offense working here, but they are working against a stellar offense of the Dukes. They're going to need to keep up heavily tonight if their defense is not able to stand up to the Dukes offense.
2nd and 10 is a running play. That's stopped by number 4, Evan Grazzini. Now a 3rd and long coming up for Hinsdale Central.
Now, you never want to be in 3rd and longs no matter the situation. You know, the Dukes never want to be in 3rd and longs. We talked about it a lot last week, but especially now as both Ben Monahan and Billy, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this last name, but Kernugel, both injured. So this is the 3rd string quarterback right now. So you definitely do not want 3rd and longs with the 3rd stringer in there.
Now on this 3rd and 8, a little bit of trips on the near sideline here. Duke seemingly in zone coverage, and we got some movement. It'll be a false start. So now a 3rd and even longer.
False start against the Devils. Move the
Captain and nose tackle John Rainier is pretty hype about that.
Yes, he is. Now, Josh, the Dukes still, both this team and the fan base alike, still reeling from the upset win, if you even want to call it an upset win over the Glenbard West Hitters last week, the top 6 state battle. Glenbard West, a historic program. The Dukes won that game, but the Dukes have to perform different this year. They lost last week against Central. Now on 3rd and 14, Contreras is running with it. He's going to run for the first down and more. Could not contain Contreras in the pocket, and it'll be a first down for the Red Devils.
And that's a game breaker right there, and game breaker plays. So you're not going to want that to happen. And they try to go hurry up here. But as you were saying, this happened last year where the Dukes beat Glenbard West, riding that high, really excited. And, you know, eventually it ran out because they got lazy and they didn't finish their plays against Hinsdale Central, and it showed, and they blew a 19-point lead in the 4th quarter. And that's what Coach Fitz did this week, because he hammered in, we cannot be lazy. We have to still win this game.
Now on 1st down, it's a running play. gain of 2. Number 22, Kellen Tran on the carry.
Kellen Tran on the carry.
Now he'll be subbed off.
And
Number 17, Andrew Line,
2nd and 8.
will come
At
on.
the 45 of Hinsdale Central.
The Dukes were really looking good this year or last year. No matter how much better you think this year's team versus last year's team is, they're still going to need to finish their plays and finish their drives, as this Dukes offense has been inconsistent throughout the course of the year. But the Dukes defense has been consistent, and they need to make a stand here to make a statement.
Now here's the carry for Joey Morrissey. Can't get the first down. It'll be a 3rd and medium. And yeah, just to back up your point a little bit, these are two teams that have seen each other for so many years, and a sort of a rivalry that Hinsdale Central definitely has the edge. So even though York is number 4 in the state, you can never take Hinsdale Central lightly, even on a quote-unquote down year from them, only a 3-3 team.
Well, this could definitely be the first year in, I want to say, 11 years. The year before, the Dukes beat them. So the Dukes beat them in back-to-back years the last time they beat them. They missed the playoffs, so that'll be the first time since then. So they're gonna be fighting really hard all night to give themselves an opportunity to get to the IHSA 8A state playoffs.
Now Contreras dropping back to pass. He's going to scramble again, trying to get the edge. Now he throws, and that is caught. Did he stay in bounds is the question. No signal yet.
I think the ref on the sideline gave an incomplete call, and the chains aren't moving to my knowledge.
Pass is knocked down on the York sideline.
It is incomplete, so now a 4th down for Hinsdale Central. And Contreras walking to the sideline, clear indicator that Hinsdale Central is going to punt this one away. So HC converted on a 3rd and 14 to keep the drive alive, but eventually stalling at midfield, and now the Dukes will likely get their first offensive opportunity. Chris Danko watches this one fly out of bounds.
At the 27.
Punt goes out of bounds.
And the 27 is where the Dukes will pick up on offense.
Of the Dukes.
Yeah, the Dukes need to come out hot here. Every single game so far this year, they've kind of stalled a little bit. Obviously, you can look at teams that aren't really notably great programs like the Mortons and Proviso West and Schaumburgs of the world. You can be like, well, they put up 48 in the first half. But against teams like that, you want to be scoring every single drive. In the first couple of drives, it's either been hard to score or they put up a field goal. So the Dukes offense, to make a statement to the rest of the state right now, even though they are top 4, they're going to need to score easily here.
First down, it's a pitch to number 1, Kelly Watson. He bounces it out to the outside, and a pretty good run on first down for Watson.
To number 1, Kelly Watson.
And just like you said, the Dukes last week, only 10 points of offense. They had that touchdown from Watson himself. On special teams, it was a 95-yard electric kick return, which ended up proving to be very effective in the final score. But the offense not extremely successful against the hitters last week. So hoping to bounce back, maybe come up with a little bit more creativity, getting some playmakers involved. And we'll see how they do. Second one is another run to the right side. It's Watson. He picks up the first down.
That was a great push by the stellar offensive line of York, and another good call by Coach Fitz, who's been doing quite a good job this year in terms of play calling. Sometimes the drives have been stalling, but all in all, I'd say he's done a really good job, considering the Dukes are the number 4 team in state. You know, I'd say that's pretty decent.
Yeah,
but
that's pretty good.
It's all right. It's all right. We got high standards here at York, though. Anyways, that's really what Kelly Watson's specialty is off tackle, to use speed and one-cut agility, sort of like a Kyle Shanahan offense. He would really work well in if he ends up getting to that level.
Now it's second down. That last play was a first down run. However, this play is incomplete. Now a 3rd and 7.
Vez's pass incomplete.
Some of the unsung heroes on this Dukes offense is this very experienced offensive line. A lot of seniors, headlined by the left tackle Dominic Begora. You see him out there. That's number 71. He's actually committed to University of Washington St. Louis.
Just made my mom mad, who's a alma mater. It's Washington University, St. Louis.
My apologies. Now on third down, it's Veza. He goes to the air, and it's Brian Filoso who hauls this in wide open over the middle. Veza attacking the field. The Dukes keep the drive alive. And a huge pickup puts the Dukes deep into the Central territory. moving with a little bit of tempo, too. Hurrying back to the line of scrimmage, 11 personnel. Now Veza goes back to Filosa. Doesn't get a whole lot there.
Kevin Connors on the stop.
That screenplay, they really like that bubble screen. It's really effective since they have extremely athletic wide receivers in Filosa, in Specht, and in Maylander, who was the star of last game in that wide receiver core. He wasn't really running the most complicated route tree, but that doesn't really matter when you're getting it done. A lot of out routes to Maylander and a lot of screens, but it worked every time, showing the meticulous work he puts into his route running as well as his athletic ability.
Now second down, they go back to Watson. Watson refusing to go down, but not enough of a north-south running. Not much of a north-south run, so it'll be a 3rd and 8 now.
31, Magnus Kumskis, and 7, Charlie Cornell. No gain, 3rd and 8.
This would be a huge stand for Hinsdale Central. Veza looking to the air, looking to his right. Oh, just out of the reach of number 84, Luke Maylander. Now it'll be 4th down. We'll see if the Dukes stay out on the field or attempt a field goal.
4th and 8.
I think they're going to have to go for it, but it looks like they actually are leaning towards,
of the Devils,
or not going for it. I think they, are going to kick, and here comes the kicking team. But, that's pretty easy. Take your points. It's a pretty far away. It's 4th down, and the Hinsdale Central defense has been quite stout. It has been all year, as it's only given up 83 points over the course of the year, which is a grand total of 13.8 opponent points per game, which is really, really good. Not as stellar as the York Duke defense, but still quite good.
And the kick by Glodz is well short. That might have been tipped.
I don't think it was. As I watched that happen, this kind of happened in the LT game as well, where Will Check had to substitute in for Damian Glotz. And as Coach Egan told us in our engineering class that Monday, is that what happened is Will Check got nervous and he just tried to not follow through and chip at it. As it looked like there, Glotz didn't, to my looking on, it didn't look like Glotz really fouled through with his leg, and he just tried to chip it as well, and it was far enough away where that didn't give it the power. You're going to need to follow through. As he said, if you're taking a golf swing or you're swinging a baseball bat, are you going to stop as soon as you make contact? No. Then it's going to go nowhere, and it's going to be inaccurate. So he's going to need to follow through next time to make sure he gets the power behind it.
Now 1st and 10 for Hinsdale Central. He is met by number 56, Danny Dalek.
Joe Morrissey on the carry, brought down by Daniel Dalek for York. No gain, 2nd down and 10.
2nd and 10 after the run that gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Central will be starting with it at the 20-yard line after the missed field goal. So despite the big passing play to Filosa, the Dukes come up empty-handed. Central will get a second chance. Still no score. Less than 5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Now Contreras to the air again. Gets an out route. Not many yards after the catch, though. That was Evan Grazzini in coverage. Caught by number 17, Andrew Line.
Yeah, that was a good job there by the linebackers. They both, or Evan Grazzini specifically there, but by the linebackers as a whole on that play, to not allow anything downfield, so they had to go to the screen play. And that was a good job by Grazzini to make the good form tackle and make sure like gain of nothing and put him in a 3rd and a little long. It's like a medium, an extended medium.
Three wide receivers on the near sideline. Contreras, quick to snap it. Now he's looking to run. Contreras now throwing. He might have been over the line. Kind of hard to tell from our point of view. Yes, he was.
Intended for Reese
The flag
Kolke.
comes out. Incomplete pass anyways, so it will be 4th down no matter what. But you kind of saw Contreras started to run, then backed up a little bit. So I believe the penalty will be declined.
Penalty marker on the play. Illegal forward pass.
And Hinsdale Central will have to punt.
Moves the ball back to the 21-yard line. It'll be 4th down and a long 9.
They're obviously going to punt it, as it wouldn't really have been the smartest decision to go for it here.
Danko fields it in Hinsdale territory.
It's going to be kick-catch interference as number 2, the man who tackled him, put his arm on or grabbed the arm of Filosa before the ball actually reached him. So that's going to be an extra 15 yards for the Dukes, putting them roughly at the 35-yard line, making a short field, and the Dukes are going to have to convert, as we were talking about earlier, about getting those fast starts.
Down on the play.
Those fast starts and the inconsistency of the offense needs to be figured out by the playoffs, just because you can live on these big plays, but, you know, when you play a great team like Lombard West, as we saw last week, that offense was getting stifled quite a bit, unfortunately, to all Duke fans, including ourselves. So we would like to see it work a little better and a little smoother, but it is, once again, a high school offense, so it's not going to be looking like a Sean McVay offense out there, but a little more consistently is going to be needed if the Dukes are going to want to go on a real deep run in the playoffs, like to go to Champaign this year or NIU. I don't know which one it was at. I think it's typically at Illinois, the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, but last year it was held at Northern Illinois University up in DeKalb.
First time that the junior running back Jake Mellion takes the field. You see Kelly Watson as being used as a slot receiver on this first down play. Ball marked at the 32. Mellion gets the call on first down, plowing ahead inside the 30. Gain of a few there. Mellion had 100 yards and a hat trick of touchdowns 2 weeks ago against the Lions of LT.
Brought down by
a game that the Dukes won 27-14.
Second down
and as well as that LT team beat Hinsdale Central at Lyons Township for the first time in 8 years, which caused them to get very hyped. But that was a low-scoring affair as well, as that was 10-7.
Now on second down, Veza running out of time. Now he has to scramble to his left, improvising, and knocked out of bounds. It'll bring up another third down for the Dukes. A little bit of a miscommunication on the offensive line there.
On the scramble.
You were talking about the Hinsdale Central versus Lyons Township game. It was 10-7, a low-scoring affair. Hinsdale Central's been engaged in a lot of low-scoring affairs, only scoring 18 points per game and allowing 13.8, average win margin of about 4 points. Quite low compared to their teams of previous years. They've only won one game by more than 10 points this year. That was against Proviso East, where they won by 51. So a lot more close one-possession battles than Hinsdale Central fans are used to seeing. So we'll expect a close one here tonight. Now 3rd and 10. Veza to the air, going deep. He's got Mancini, end zone. Yes, touchdown Dukes.
It's complete.
Mancini from 30 yards out. The Dukes draw first blood, and they're an extra point away from taking a 7-0 lead.
Wow, what a throw there. Put it right where the defensive back couldn't reach it, and only Anthony Mancini, the tight end, number 38, could. What a spectacular throw by Veza, and a good pocket presence, or good pocket formed by the offensive line. That was a really well drawn-up play by Coach Fitz as well. All in all, great play by the Dukes, and it ends in the result that you want most plays to end in, a touchdown.
Just a simple seam route. Mancini, very athletic, recognized the mismatch. Veza noticed it as well. Here's Glads, missed the field goal earlier, but makes the extra points. Now a 7-0 lead for York.
Damian Glads' kick for the extra point is good.
Taking advantage of the good field position.
2:45 left.
It was a quick three-play, 32-yard drive, and it ends with 7 points.
The winning numbers in this draw for the stretch lab is 39.
As this Hinsdale offense has also struggled a lot with injuries, as they're starting running back, number 22. He was injured in the DGN game last week, and he was unable to come back into into that game, but he's here tonight as I heard his name called. I cannot remember.
Kellen Tran.
Kellen Tran, thank you. Kellen Tran was injured in that one. He is feeling all good tonight. We assume and we hope for Hinsdale Central's sake. Of course, you always want your starters out there. And they're going to need to use him more as the passing game hasn't really worked well, or use Contreras in the running game, as we've seen, your offense or defense has been susceptible to a lot of QB runs like Ryan Jackson and Corey Ty the past 2 weeks at LT and Glenbard West, respectively. So maybe do a bit more of that, a little bit more of the bootlegs would be a bit more effective against this York D tonight.
2:46 to go in quarter one. Kick to Glods is fielded at the 20. Now with the 30, pushed out. Oh, at about the 40-yard line. He got about 5 yards of extra yardage down the sideline. That was Kevin Connors, number 3 on the return, and a pretty favorable return. So Hinsdale Central starting with the best field position of the night, and we'll see what they can do on drive number 3.
Yeah, Hinsdale Central offense really needs to get moving to get this Dukes defense tired. It is cold out, and York did have an Institute Day, so the players maybe not in their typical routine, so you never know what you can do, but you're going to need to get on them early. But that didn't really work, did it?
No, not at all. Number 15, Ashton Naraki, must have known what was coming because he was all in that play from the very beginning. Joe Morrissey going backwards. And a great tackle for loss by the senior D lineman.
Stop for the Dukes by 15, Ashton Naraki.
We always like to point out Ashton Naraki, brother of Aiden Naraki, who was a very good linebacker for the Dukes team last year. A unit that went 8-1, made the playoffs for the first time since 2011. The Dukes clearly building off that success this year. So 2nd and 13 now. Contreras has 3 wideouts. He's going to look to pass. Pressure from his left. Contreras tripped, and he goes down. Danny Dalek and Evan Grazzini combining to sack Contreras.
Tripped up.
Now a 3rd and long for the Red Devils. Really going backwards on this drive. Really not what you want to see if you're the coach of Hinsdale Central. And really what you do want to see if you're the defensive coordinator from York. Really taking advantage of some offensive line mismatches, some complex schemes to put some pressure on Contreras.
Yeah, definitely. And Contreras is under a lot of pressure mentally as well, as Hinsdale Central needs to win 2 of their last 3 games to make the playoffs. Two of their opponents are York and Glenbard West, so they're going to need to win 1 of those games. And so far tonight, it hasn't really worked out well for them. As timeout Hinsdale Central, and they're going to need to talk it over. But as I was saying, their other game is against Proviso West, and nothing against the people over there at Proviso West, but that is more of an easier win for Hinsdale Central, more of a book-it win for Hinsdale Central. So they need to win 1 of 2 against Glenbard West and York, and tonight it's not really going their way, but they beat the Dukes last year after being down 19. So definitely all night tonight, unless the Dukes are up 50-something. We will not be saying anything is for sure against this Hinsdale Central, the Red Devils team.
And I got to imagine that the Dukes will be keeping their foot on the pedal the entire night, not wanting to repeat what happened last year. Even though they have a 7-0 lead, I expect them to continue to stay aggressive both on offense and defense.
3rd down and 15 for
We'll
the
see how aggressive they get on a 3rd and 15. Under a minute to play here in quarter number 1. Central has 4 wideouts. Contreras looking to throw. It's just a little dump-off screen. Makes 1 man miss, makes 2 men miss, but ultimately is well short of the first down.
Contreras
Number 11, Farouk Alumaka.
To Farouk Alumaka.
And 4th down for Hinsdale Central.
Ashton Naraki.
They will punt again.
4th down and 8 for the Devils.
Danko back deep to return for the 3rd time tonight. Clock is still running. Central boots it away. high and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. So with 12 seconds remaining in quarter number 1, the Dukes will be on offense.
The Dukes probably looking to target star wideout Charlie Specht a bit more, as he was quite silent for the majority of that Glenbard West game until he had a couple of deep over routes that broke Joey Pope and the safety of Glenbard West and really broke it open, and the second one resulted in a touchdown. So we shall see if that becomes successful tonight.
Baz on the read option, gets pushed out. Gain of 1.
But it looks like, again, they're just like Glenbard West did. They are double covering Charlie Specht as number 3 and number 14 of Hinsdale Central. We were on Charlie's side when he was the only receiver there. So they are really paying attention to him, knowing that the star that he is, and making sure he doesn't have an impact on the game. But
end of the first quarter here, Dukes were the only team that scored. They lead this one 7-0. The teams will take a break. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to York Sports Network. Back to the action now. Second quarter. First play is a sweep to Kelly Watson. Watson's tackled by number 11. That is Farouk Alumaka.
A gain of 2 before he's
two-way starter there.
Yep.
Shockingly enough, there is no two-way starters for the Dukes, as all of them are specialized in the position that they play, which is not super common in high school football, but you do, but that shows the depth and talent for the Dukes, is that they're able to do that, as both good teams this year that they've played.
3rd and 6, Pheasant of the air, and he's got his man. It's Mancini. Second target for him, second catch for him. Keeping the drive alive into Central territory, the Dukes go.
Anthony Mancini, brought down by Gavin Vanderloon. Good enough for a first down into Red Devil territory.
Gain of 15, and more importantly, a first down. The Dukes continuing to stay 4 wide. Watson back in the slot. And that's a screen to Mancini here. Across the 40 and tackled down at the 37-yard line.
To Mancini.
Favorable gain on first down. 2nd and short upcoming.
A gain of 9, 2nd and 1.
Close to a first down. And that's something the Dukes are able to run a ton, is that's because they pride in their blocking ability. They make sure that their wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs are all very skilled in blocking, and that allows plays like that to be as successful as they are and run as much as they are.
Jake Mellion gets the carry, and he picks up the first down, taking defenders with him across the 30-yard line, enabling the truck stick there.
Jake Mellion on the carry for the Dukes.
Really ran a dude over there. Quite impressive. You could see the whole sideline being shocked and in awe of the play there. It was a great job by Mellion. And this is a fun little package, I'd say offensive package that they have out there with both the star running backs and Kelly Watson and Jake Mellion on the field. Watson lining up in the slot the majority of the time for this case, and the tailback being Mellion.
9:35 remaining in the quarter. Beza looking to his sideline. In the pistol. The give to Mellion again. Mellion up the middle. First down and more for the junior. Now in the red zone. The Dukes are
Jake
driving
Melvin, the
once
ball
again.
carrier, brought down by Vanderloon and Grant Davis. Appears to be good enough for a first down for the Dukes.
First and 10 from the 19 now. Veza to the air. It's that same screen pass to the tight end Mancini. Gets across the 15-yard line, gain of 4.
Mancini brought down by Charlie Cornell.
Yeah, good play there. Mancini is
Ball at the 15-yard line.
Mancini's showing why he's the tight end. It always seems like he falls forward and breaks an extra couple of tackles that most people in high school wouldn't normally be able to do. So he's been a really integral part of this Dukes offense.
Now on 2nd and 6, Melvin gets the carry again. Tripped up at the offensive line, so doesn't get a whole lot there.
Once again, brought down by Aiden Murphy and Sean Lynch.
Now a 3rd and 3. Dukes hurrying back to the line. They give it to Melvin. Melvin up the middle. Going to be close. Depends on where they spot it.
Melvin on the carry. To the 8-yard line. Stop made by Matas Andrikonis.
And they will be giving them the first down. It'll be a 1st and goal now. Ball on the 8. Can the Dukes cash in for 6? It's a read option. Veza getting to the outside, tripped up at the 5. Thought he could have gone all the way at first, but a nice play there by the Hinsdale Central defensive back. Now a 2nd and goal.
Just inside.
Veza getting half the yardage he needed on that first play. A very prolific running threat as always. We saw that a lot last week against Glenbard West. Had over 50 yards running. Now on 2nd and goal, it's Melvin to the left side, trying to find space and stopped short.
Kevin Connors stops Jake Melvin just short of the goal line.
Good play by number 3, Kevin Connors. Now a 3rd and goal on the 1. Expecting the jumbo set. However, the Dukes are in the pistol still. On 3rd down, they give it to Melvin. Melvin is in for the touchdown. York extending the lead.
York touchdown by Melvin.
Jake Melvin, another touchdown run for him. And the Dukes now go up by 2 scores.
Offense out to the nice start as they have gone in the red zone of Hinsdale Central for 3 straight possessions. One of them pretty expected considering they started at the 35-yard line of Hinsdale Central. But nonetheless, getting points on any drive or having the opportunity to get points on any drive is a successful drive in high school.
Extra point is good. Now the Dukes lead 14-0 with 6:39 remaining in the first half.
Is good.
You saw the Dukes come out early, throwing a lot of passes through the air, making Hinsdale Central really respect the passing game, and that's opened up a lot of running opportunities. You saw there, especially when the Dukes got in the red zone, it was just running play after running play, really relying on a good push from the offensive line to create the necessary holes, and Jake Melvin does the rest.
Yeah, good job by the Dukes offensive line. You want to really trust them in a game like this. You know, they always say, this is football weather. My hands are freezing. So, I mean, I wish football weather was a little warmer. Maybe high 60s would be my preferred football weather. But I bet the guys on the field prefer it because they get less sweaty and get exhausted a little slower since the coldness of the air offsets the heat of their body. But you know, in the games like this, you're really going to rely on your offensive line. You're going to throw too much because I bet Veza's hands are quite cold as well.
And Vanderloon.
Received at the 5-yard line with space. Cuts back up the middle to the 30-yard line. number 14, Gavin Vandaloon, sharing the same first name, probably not sharing the same level of football ability.
Second quarter.
Well, the Hinsdale Central team obviously being down 14 points, nothing is really working perfectly or working really well, but so far the special teams unit of Hinsdale Central has done really nicely. Quite a few good returns, as well as a couple near blocked extra points. And like you said, on the first on the first field goal, that one could have been blocked. I may have missed it, and it was blocked possibly, but you all the viewers at home who were paying attention to what was going on will know for sure.
Contreras back to the ground for Hinsdale Central. It was, we'll see who the back was when he gets up, 21. That is Joey Morrissey, seemingly splitting carries between him and Tran. Still coming off the injury. Got to imagine that Hinsdale Central coach is just easing him back in. The Red Devils are coached by Brian Griffin. Very accomplished coach with multiple conference titles.
3 in the past decade.
Wow. Contreras now rolling out to his left, throwing cross body, one-on-one downfield, and nearly intercepted, but instead it'll be a penalty on Reese Richardson, likely pass interference.
Number 2, Reese Kolke.
We saw a similar play like this against Glenbard West where Richardson was called for pass interference when he did not think that it should have been called. Got to imagine that the ref just saw that Richardson never turned his head around to make a play on the ball.
Well, I think to be fair on that one, Richardson was getting a bit handsy with the receiver downfield, and the ball kind of died since it didn't really have the velocity it needed to lead the right receiver. So its arc was pretty good, but then it died down right at the end, which allowed Reese to have a chance to intercept it, and he almost did there. But once again, an underthrown ball, kind of putting Reese in a bad situation where he couldn't really do anything. But it was a little more physical than necessary, which is probably what Evan Grazzini is telling him right now.
The Dukes normally a pretty disciplined team, not a lot of penalties this year. However, that one is costly. Now Hinsdale Central will get a fresh set of downs, but number 21, Joey Morrissey, was dragged down by
Joe Morrissey,
the Dukes number 21. That is
the ball carrier.
Cole Ostendorf.
Brought down by Cole Ostendorf.
21 meets 21.
A loss of 3.
And York wins that battle. Loss of 3 yards on the carry. Seen that a couple of times tonight where the Dukes just absolutely stuffing the run game. Under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Central still taking their time.
I mean, they got pretty good field position, even though after that. But Ostendorf saying his first name for the first time this late in the game is pretty surprising, as he's had a pretty quiet night for the star-studded year he's had.
Contreras facing pressure immediately, shakes one man, now goes to the air and fires it out of bounds. That one off target. Drew Villard with the pressure.
Kellen McInerney. Incomplete. Third down.
Now a third down and 13 after the incompletion. We'll see what Hinsdale Central draws up. Griffin tonight has seemingly been calling offensive players, whether it be the quarterback or a wide receiver, pulling them over to the sideline individually to talk to them about the next play. Just then it was Reese Kolke who got the talking to. 3rd and 13. Contreras dropping back. Contreras, down he goes! It's Ashton Naraki again. What a great first half for the senior. And now Central goes backwards again.
Contreras is sacked.
And they are forced to punt again this half.
Yeah, not the Hinsdale Central.
4th and 19.
Hinsdale Central offensive line is really being beat pretty much every play, which is unfortunate to see for the Red Devil fans.
Letting the punt bounce. And now letting the punt roll. The York special teams. Ball down to the 19-yard line.
Covering 40 yards, where the Dukes will have it.
Tonight, everything has been clicking for the Dukes. Offense cashing in 2 touchdown drives, and the defense has not allowed Hinsdale Central to even get into York territory, ending that last drive with a huge sack.
Prevented them, yeah. I mean, I think they were in at like the 47 or something, but around there. But then the first play, they went backwards, back out of it.
First down is a run to Watson.
Kelly Watson on
3.5 minutes for this Dukes team to score some points before halftime. They will also be getting the ball to start the second half.
Williams,
deferred the coin toss.
Along 5, it'll be 2nd and 5.
So it's the classic try and get points before halftime, then try and score some points at the start of the second half. It's one of those situations for the Dukes. Now on second down, run game again. Watson fighting to get to the 30-yard line, first down. Dukes with all 3 timeouts. Hinsdale Central has 2.
Kelly Watson on the carry.
Kelly Watson with a good job there, breaking a couple of tackles. He's had a good night tonight. No big runs yet, huge runs, but his yards per carry is looking pretty nice at probably around 7 or 8, as he's gotten a lot of yards each time, even when yards haven't been there or easy.
First down is a jet sweep to Chris Danko. Danko gets pushed out of bounds after a gain of 5. A little bit of trickery there.
Chris Danko
lateral running. Hinsdale Central limiting the damage, though.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
You always got to love the jet sweep. It's a lot of fun. A lot of big plays happen from it whenever there's a miscommunication on defense and they get a little mixed up. But there, Hinsdale Central's communication was perfect to a T and allowed them to not work as well as they could, as jet sweeps can.
Timeout was called by somebody. Hard to tell if it was taken by the team or taken as like an official's timeout. Hinsdale Central's defense is still on the field, and only like the quarterback and the wide receivers are in the huddle on the sidelines for the Dukes. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Ball still on the 34. We'll see if the Duke kind of pick up the tempo of the offense, maybe a little bit more urgency.
Our 93 and 154.
Yeah, I don't know. Scoreboard's not mentioning any timeout taken. Must have just been an official's call there.
So now 1st and 10. Now the Dukes go deep, and now they're targeting Charlie Specht, and he is, the ball was underthrown. He was open. He had the separation, a little bit underthrown by Veza, and nearly intercepted by Farouk Alumaka.
And that was just because Veza couldn't really step into that one, as that was, obviously a deep downfield pass, but he couldn't really step into his number 42 of Hinsdale Central. Fell right at Veza's feet and hit him as he was throwing right at his feet, so kind of probably threw him off there, led it to leave a little short. But big play opportunity for Specht, and last time that happened on a drive where Specht was close to a big play opportunity, he scored. So we'll see what happens here.
Veza on second down, pushed out to his right, now trying to escape, now improvising, and he's got Danko wide open. Danko at the 30, losing a man, down the 20, 15, pushed out of bounds, a big gain for York. Matt Veza doing his best job of improvising in the middle of the play, found his downfield receiver. A bit of a busted play for the Hinsdale Central secondary. They lost Danko, thought that Veza was just going to take off and run with it. But a broken play turns into a big play, and now the Dukes are will set up shop on the 15-yard line.
And that's something that the
first and 10.
Kelly Watson brought down by Michael Gallagher.
And that's something that the
after a gain of 1.
The running ability of Veza creates gravity, similar to Steph Curry and his three-point shooting ability. Even though he didn't run there, the threat of Veza running caused the defense to collapse and attack him, as it was only a 3rd and 5. So it wouldn't have been too hard of a run, and Veza could have easily tucked in and run, but that shows the skill and experience of Veza as he's still looking downfield for the play, because that was a much bigger play than what he could have done with his legs there.
2nd and 8. They run the same halfback sweep
Watson
to Kelly Watson, the right side.
Brought down by Magnus Kumskis and Gavin Vanderloon.
A minute and 20 seconds remaining. Now Dukes still have not used a timeout. They really haven't needed to thus far. 3rd and 6.
Probably call one now, but looks like they're confident in their play call, and we'll see if it works out well on this 3rd and medium for the Dukes in the red zone of the Red Devils.
4 men wide. Veza forced to check it down to Watson. Watson tiptoeing down the sideline. Oh, they called him out of bounds. That was nearly a very impressive play by Kelly Watson, showing off his body control. But the ref calling him out of bounds at the 4-yard line. So it'll be 4th down. 50 seconds to go in the first half. Will York go for it?
Is good enough.
I don't know. I was up here and had a good angle, but obviously a closer shot by the ref. I thought that was in. I was trying to celebrate silently, but that's the call, and it looks like they're going to keep the offense out there, keep the pressure on, try and make this lead pretty insurmountable by the Hinsdale Central offense.
Just like you said. Or no, they are going to give him a 1st down. It'll be a 1st and goal. Oh. Now they call timeout. Bit interesting. We saw the ref signal with his closed fist, meaning 4th down. But now over some reconsideration, it'll be a 1st and goal for York. And that definitely changes the mindset of Coach Fitz.
And that's why he called the timeout, is now it's not just one play in 50 seconds. You get a grand total of 4 plays in the remaining 50 seconds.
This game following a similar script like the one we saw last year. A dominant Dukes first half thus far, and then a Hinsdale Central comeback in the 4th quarter, hopefully. That comeback does not come. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. This is a very different Hinsdale Central team. I mean, even with all the injuries, this Hinsdale Central team, in my opinion, based on what I've heard and I've read, wouldn't have been as good as last year's or the year before, considering they're back-to-back defending West Suburban Silver champions. As last year was made up of a ton of seniors who were really, really productive, and a lot of starters and a bunch of 2A starters who graduated last year. So it's a lot of inexperience on this team, but that could mean that they're going to be successful in the future.
1st and goal. Run to Melvin. Melvin getting a lot more carries in the red zone.
Michael Gallagher, Grant Davis.
Much more of a power running back up the middle than Watson. Watson has the tendency to bounce it out to the outside. Whereas Melvin puts his head down and just rumbles up the middle. Unable to rumble into the end zone there. Another timeout called by York.
The athletic department would like to remind fans.
And with that, we will take a quick break as well. 42 seconds remaining in the first half. Don't go anywhere. Duke's on the doorstep.
Is it?
Back to the action. 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Duke's trying to put up some more points before the break. Veza to the air. Goes to the back corner. It is caught, but out of bounds is Luke Malin. An impressive catch nonetheless.
Not able to get the feet down.
He's had too much momentum near the back pylon. Now a 3rd and 5 with 37 seconds to play.
If I were Dukes, I would either call a bubble screen here and try and bounce it around the outside. That's been pretty successful, but it's a little iffy to call here this close to the goal line. Or you just call a inside zone just straight up the middle, as they haven't done that yet, as it's been a lot of off tackle or towards the right tackle position.
4 wide on 3rd down. Veza chased out. Veza backing way up and just trying to get rid of it now. Got backed up all the way to his 30, all the way out to the 30-yard line. Good pressure there. That was number 43 of Hinsdale. 43 is Sean O'Hea.
And good job there by Kelly Watson to get back towards where Veza could throw it, so it wouldn't be intentional grounding by Veza, even though I think he was out of the pocket. I think there still has to be a receiver in the vicinity of the throw, but even better job by the Hinsdale Central defense there. That was a wonderful stand made by them to keep this close-ish. Going to make it 17 points if Glotz can convert here, going into half most likely.
Glotz missed his first field goal attempt from 30 yards out. Now a flag is blown. And we'll see delay a game on the offense. So that'll back up. That'll back up York just an extra 5 yards, still well in the range of Glotz, but might have been doing it intentionally just to give him a better angle.
That's what I was going to say. Possibly doing that intentionally, as there was no inaction or action by the coach on the sideline or by any of the players, any rushing there to make sure that that play got off.
Good snap, good hold, right down the middle for Damian Glotz. So the Dukes come away with 3 points on that lengthy drive. Now leading it by 17 with 30 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yeah, the Hinsdale Central team, as we've said a bunch, as it was really integral to the result of last year, as the Dukes, unfortunately, lost to Hinsdale Central, which cost them the West Suburban Silver title last year, as they did beat Glenbard West, which was the other big dog in that division that year. But Hinsdale Central kept it close against Downs Grove North, who has kept it the closest to the Dukes so far, forcing them to overtime in a 24-17 or 23-17 win for the Dukes. Not necessarily the closest in point total, but definitely one of the closest games of the year. It's either that or Glenbard West, but the Hinsdale Central hasn't played Glenbard West, and they played at DGN last week, and it was 6-3 heading into the fourth quarter, but then DGN pulled away. So a lot of fourth quarter action happens against Hinsdale Central, whether it's Hinsdale Central doing the action or the opposing team. So we'll see what happens in the second half. But stay with us no matter what. This is probably going to be exciting, as these are two rivals, and Hinsdale Central is fighting for a playoff spot for their life.
Glotz with a bit of a squib kick. That's hooking and will go out of bounds. So preventing the big return, but still giving Hinsdale pretty good field position. I think they'll be happy to accept their fate on that play, just with how stagnant Hinsdale Central's offense has been. And at this point, we've probably gone over this before on the broadcast. 30 seconds left. Your goal is no big plays and no penalties.
Do not know what's going on here.
I think they're going to redo the kickoff, it looks like. It appears that the penalty was a false start on the Dukes, so they're going to redo it. Now kicking off from the 45-yard line. So even though the kick went out of bounds, the penalty was first. One of the Dukes on special teams were moved a little early. This has been about the longest final 2 minutes of a half that we can remember.
Yes. I've been waiting to put my hands in my pockets as I am running the scoreboard currently, but the Dukes are robbing me of that.
Glides for the second time. Received at the 30. Now a lateral. Some trickery here from the Devils. Here is Alumaka tackled at the 40-yard line.
Reese Kolke on the return and the crossfield pass.
After the lateral by Reese Kolke.
Brings the ball out to the 40-yard line where the Devils will have it first and 10.
So now 20 seconds remaining. Hinsdale Central going into the huddle. They got to try something to at least get in field goal range to cut into the 17-point deficit, because right now they have a big fat 0 on the scoreboard.
Definitely, you want these points, so they are going to be pushing downfield, so a lot's going to be riding on Matt Sutter, the safety, to make sure to put a cover on the offense right now.
First play is a flag. It looked like someone moved a little bit earlier. And that's definitely not what you want if you're Hinsdale Central.
No. Pushing you farther back is not going to do good. Unfortunately, there was a lot, or fortunately for last week, there was a ton of stuff on the kicker of Glenbard West because he was a Notre Dame commit. I was not able to find anything on Hinsdale Central's kicker, and so his range is probably be about the range of any other high school kicker between the 30 and 35s. They're going to need, so Hinsdale Central's offenses need to get all the way down to around the 25-yard line to give their kicker the range they need.
Contreras looking to go deep, near sideline, into double coverage. Oh! Drew Villard was there looking for the interception, but it bounces off his shoulder pad, incomplete. 13 seconds remaining. Just taking a chance there was Contreras.
Incomplete.
And Villard nearly got his hands on it.
2nd and 15.
Second and 15, Contreras looking to go deep again, rolls out to his right, now fires to the sideline, that's caught. First target for number 24, that is Ahmed
Good for a first down
Kellen
with 6 seconds.
McGinnery. Apologies. 6 seconds remaining, he gets out of bounds.
Good play there, but that would have been more useful with the 20 seconds remaining than it is with the 6 seconds remaining. So we shall see if anything comes of it, but unlikely for the Red Devils to put any points up on the board for the first half.
Likely just a desperation heave upcoming. The Dukes dropping 8. Contreras rolling out, immediately faced by pressure. Now he's going to run with it. Can he go the distance? At the 35, now chased out and he slides. That'll be the end of the half. So the Central comes up empty, and the half ends. A half that has been dominated by the York Dukes. They lead this one 17-0. Josh, what did you see from Hinsdale and from York in this first half?
I really saw a lot of instability from the offense, as the offense was not really able to get anything going. I think they got a grand total of 4 to 5 first downs throughout the course of the first half. 2 of them coming on that last drive, which ended up resulting in nothing because of the lack of time that they had remaining. So the Hinsdale Central offense has really not been successful here tonight, and that makes sense when you go up against the Dukes. The Dukes have a stellar, I'd say, top 3 to 5 defense in the state. Really, really, really good, really deep in everything that you need in offense, good secondary, good pressure, all that sort of things. But the Hinsdale Central defense has not been quite too bad. They've been all right. Like that big stand they made over there on the goal line was a great job by them. They did give up a couple of big plays, but, against the Dukes offense, you're going to have to give up big plays because they got too much star talent to not. Well
said as always. And with that, we'll take a quick break for halftime. 15 minutes. We'll be back in 15 minutes. So you're listening to York Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.
Called Cascada. Released in the U.S. in 2005, the song's upbeat dance pop sound helped it reach international acclaim, and even today is a pillar of early 2000s music. We hope you enjoy the performance. The Red Devil Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Matt Karinsky, Ms. Grace Adusi, and Mr. Serge Pensick. The band is led by senior drum majors Dahlia Adab, Jaden Schmidt, and junior drum major Deanna Juleri. Thanks to the cheerleaders and their coaches, Ms. Jen Ellinghausen, Ms. Megan Ida, and Erica Buss. The Palms and their coaches, Mrs. Katie Malley and Mrs. Kim Fugman. The color guard with their captains, Isabella Narduli, Nina Tioli, and Emma Kimball. And their coach, Mrs. Jill Tilk. And to the MPA volunteers and parents for supporting all the student performers. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please welcome your 2022 Varsity Palmers. We are so proud of our 11 seniors. This dance was choreographed by Annie Ambrose, Isabel Paulo, Piper Frankowitz, and Mia Manarina. Go Devils. Ladies, your music will shortly be on. Please welcome our varsity cheerleaders as they perform their senior night routine. We are so proud of our 11 seniors and their hard work. Good luck, ladies. Your music is on.
Doctor, need you back home, baby. Doctor, where you at? Give me something. I need your love, I need your love, I need your loving. Like 3-6, now I'm feeling so fly, like a G6, like a G6.
Well, let's hear it for the cheerleaders. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's halftime, we have a field goal kicking competition sponsored by Sam Sharp of Guaranteed Rate. We're going to bring out 3 fans to compete to see who can kick a field goal. We're down in the south end zone here at the 10-yard line. While we get set up, your Red Devil social chairs are launching some Sam Sharp Red Devil t-shirts into the crowd. If you want a t-shirt, make sure you let them know. Make some noise. Who wants the Sam Sharp Guaranteed Rate t-shirt? Make some noise. All right. Draw your attention to the 10-yard line. Finn Kane is going to try to kick a 20-yard field goal here for a JBL Bluetooth speaker. Let's hear it for Finn. There it is. Wow, just left. All right, here we go. Kicker number 2. All right, let's hear it for Carter. He's got the Birkenstocks on. He's getting ready to kick with Birkenstocks. I don't feel... Here we go. Good luck. Just wide right. Just wide right. All right, let's hear it for Anthony Barbara. A lefty, kicking with the hook. Here we go, drum roll, I like it. Heads up! Oh, he almost took out a grandparent in the tent. All right, hey, let's hear it for our kickers. They didn't win,
coaching
but they're
staff
still
at
number
Hinsdale
1 in their
Central
parents' hearts.
is very happy to see Anto Barbara has recovered from his injury earlier in the week and will be ready to go at practice tomorrow.
Boosters would like to thank Sam Sharp, a Guaranteed Rate, for sponsoring tonight's field goal competition. Sam makes your mortgage experience straightforward and easy, the way home buying should be. Give Sam a call. Sam Sharp, Guaranteed Rate.
We'd like to once again welcome Stretch Lab to tonight's game. Stretch Lab offers one-on-one assisted stretching services. Tonight they are hosting a raffle. Be sure you pick up your raffle ticket from the Stretch Lab booth. We are announcing 2 winners each quarter. So far, the first quarter, it was 39 and 330. Second quarter, 93 and 154. There's no purchase necessary. Certain restrictions do apply. Winners can redeem their stretch at their choice of either their location at Willowbrook or in Elmhurst. If you don't win the raffle, your ticket still entitles you to half off an intro stretch assessment. Recognize the coaches from both teams. Head coach Mike Fitzgerald of the Yorks is assisted by Jesse Pierce, Don Gelsomino, Brad Sutter, Don Casper, Alex Egan, Kyle Tynan, and Jason Modi. The Devils, head coach Brian Griffin, assisted by Brendan Lynch, Tom Dorrance, Matt McNiff, Todd Kaler, Jeff Lesnowitz, Ryan McHugh, and may he rest in peace, Craig Cruz. A wallet was lost and returned to the press box. If you have lost your wallet, please come up, identify it, and we have it for you.
Hello, York Sports Network fans, and welcome back to the second half here at Hinsdale Central. I know the field is sponsored by Hinsdale Bank. Oh, Dickinson Field is the name of the field here. And touchback here. Impressive kick by number 28. That is the kicker.
The Dukes will take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half action, just about to get started. The Dukes with a 17-point lead and the ball to start the second half. Second half on York Sports Network. I'm Gavin Connolly. With me, Joshua Melvin. To my right, as always, on the field, Matt Veza, 1st and 10. A little pitch to Kelly Watson, who gets dragged out by number 7. That is Charlie Cornell.
Kelly Watson on the carry. The first play of the second half.
Now, I could be completely making this up, and I do apologize to pretty much everybody listening if I do. But if I remember correctly, Hinsdale Central does a sort of thing with the number like LSU, where they have number 7 as a special number for a special player, and that there was a great play by
Charlie Cornell.
I saw him flying from the other side of the field about where he's lined up now to make that tackle, so good job by him.
1st and 10, Veza scrambling, now fires over the middle, intended for Filosa. Filosa didn't know it was coming at him. Now a 3rd and 10. So 2 plays, no yards gained for the Dukes. Bit of a slow start to the second half. They need to get to the 30-yard line to keep this drive alive. Good pressure by Hinsdale Central's front 4 as well, making Veza get rid of it early. We'll see what Coach Fitz dials up. Dukes have 4 wide. Veza's going to throw. 4-man rush. It's a wheel route to Watson. Watson gets the first down and more. A nifty little play. Those receivers creating all the room that Watson needed. And an accurate throw by Veza.
That was a fancy, schmancy little play drawn up there. That was really impressive because The two receivers that were there, which were Charlie Specht and Brian Filosa, 19 and 8 respectively, clearing the way, clearing the path as if like a little screen route to allow the opening.
Back to Watson on the ground, gain of 3.
Sean Lynch in on the stop for the Red Devils.
2nd and 7. Tackle made by Sean Lynch.
Kelly Watson. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7.
From the pistol, Veza takes the snap. Plenty of time now, chased out to his right, forced to get rid of it. As soon as I said plenty of time, number 31, Magnus Kumskis, broke free and was in Veza's face from the beginning, pretty much.
Hinsdale Central sideline not too happy with that play as they were hoping for an intentional grounding. And you could also hear some fans screaming grounding and intentional grounding.
Ruled incomplete.
It was pretty close to it, but there was a receiver, quote-unquote, in the vicinity. It depends on what you mean by vicinity. And by the book, it's a wide receiver within about 5 to 7 yards, and there was someone there. So, no
3rd and
grounding
7. Veza going to the far sideline. It is, deflected. Great breakup by Kevin Connors. Intended wideout was Luke Maylander. One-on-one coverage. Definitely won by the defensive back there, and then the Dukes will be forced to punt.
And I'd say, speaking of the defensive back there, I'd say the defensive backs have been the star of the show tonight for Hinsdale Central. I mean, you can't really be absolutely in love with any of the position groups or anything when you're down 17-0, but there hasn't been a lot of big plays besides the one to Brian Filosa
Mason Bell
late in the second half or late in the first half.
Bal fans with his first punt of the day, and it sends a booming kick and received at the 25, pushed out past the 30. Connors, both a defensive back and a special teams wide receiver. So a good stand by the Central defense, and they will start on offense
football action next week
at about the 34-yard line. First drive of the second half.
At Proviso West in Hillside.
Red Devils failing to do much on offense in the first half. 0 points scored. Barely getting into field goal range. We'll see if the game plan shifts a little bit here. It's a first down carry. Trucking a defender was number 21, Joey Morrissey. His first carry of the second half goes for 12 and a first down.
The ball carrier.
Yeah, great job there. Probably the biggest offensive play so far. Besides the run by Contreras for the Devils' first down. And for the Devils tonight as a whole.
We'll see if Central could build off that big play. They give it back to him. This time the Dukes were ready for it. Tackle for loss by Ashton Naraki off the edge. He's been very active tonight.
Defensive line.
2nd and 10.
2nd and 10.
The Dukes with 5 linebackers on the field. Now Contreras throwing. Goes to the near sideline. That ball is caught by Reese Kolke inside the 30-yard line. Reese on Reese is won by the wide receiver there. Reese Kolke on Reese Richardson, and just going up and over him to make the play. Got to imagine Richardson was a little bit more cautious after picking up a pass interference penalty.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Devils.
Definitely, but once again there, he does not turn his head around to where he could have made the play, but he was definitely in position to be able to make one on that pass.
1st and 10. Contreras looking through the air again. Now scrambling, trying to find an opening. Cuts back up the middle. And ends up getting positive yardage. Kind of a broken play there, but Contreras scrambling his way for a gain of a couple.
Yeah, great creation there. He could have stayed in the pocket a little longer. That was a bit of a freaked out reaction by Contreras. But got yards, and that's what you want. And especially down here, you don't want to force anything and force a turnover when Hinsdale is really struggling for points tonight. And, as we said much earlier, is that Hinsdale Central coming out in the second half and looking decent.
There's another stuff by Evan Grazzini. Just no one blocking him on the edge. Kellen Tran gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. Now a third down for the Red Devils. First time they've been inside the 30 tonight. And this seems like a must convert here.
At the 26.
With under 8 to play in the third quarter. Trips on the far sideline. Contreras scrambling, now stepping up, going to the end zone. It is caught! Touchdown, Hinsdale Central. That's definitely going to be a penalty. Number 24, Kellen McHenry, staring down the defensive back, Jack Korzanowski. The flag comes up flying, but the touchdown will still stand. Hinsdale Central gets on the board after a 24-yard strike.
I know you're excited, but also, whenever that comes in, the coach is probably not going to be too happy as he takes him aside right now and is chewing him out. Is very mad at him and gives a little point to the scoreboard, referencing the fact that they are down and they don't need any sort of issues whenever it comes to scoring or preventing any points, preventing any of Duke's points or scoring any points on Hinsdale Central side. So that's just not a great decision and mental. You need to keep that mental strength and just focus on getting, that was a great drive by Hinsdale Central, efficient passing and running in pretty much every category. So a bunch of guys celebrating him on the sideline for his play, but then the coach is chewing him out for his decision afterwards.
Point after is good. Now a 10-point lead for York. Contreras gaining more confidence in the passing game, had two, I would say, pretty long passes down the left sideline. That's where he's been targeting the majority of his receivers, no matter who it is. That time, it was in the end zone for 24 yards, and he's been pretty accurate as well downfield. Above average for a typical high school quarterback.
Here's another set.
So the Red Devils trying to bring some life into this crowd, one that was relatively quiet in the first half, getting some of the energy back, waving their flags.
57 and 334.
Yeah, honestly, a great job there on the offense. And finally, Contreras showed that he can trust his wide receivers. He hasn't really been trusting them all night. And neither team's wide receivers have really been creating a ton of separations except on broken plays. But consistently, there hasn't been a lot of room to throw. And Veza has shown his trust in his receivers, causing the throwing of the ball towards said wide receivers. But those haven't really been completed too much tonight. But on that drive, Hinsdale Central was able to capitalize multiple times, and luckily for them, that ends up in a result. And that's where that field goal, instead of a touchdown, when the Dukes were inside the 5 with the first down of Hinsdale Central, is really going to come to hurt the Dukes later in the game, as that was probably a necessary touchdown. It's a 21-7. 27-7 or 21-7 game is much different than a 17-7 game.
Kickoff. Kelly Watson will let it roll out of bounds, and the flag comes a-flying.
And then the 15-yard penalty, I don't think it'll be it was applied there on the kickoff, so it won't be applied here. I don't know if the Dukes got to choose, but I bet they would. If they did, I bet they wish they got to choose off the kickoff. And that would just make a little more sense. That's how they do it in the pros and at the high college level, but it's high school, and they must be a little different with their rules.
With the kick going out of bounds, Hinsdale Central will move back.
So they're going to redo the kickoff. This is honestly pretty new to us.
I'm very confused right now, to be honest. I've seen them redo it, but I always thought that was on a false start, plus the kick going out of bounds. I thought it was always start at the 40 whenever the kick goes out of bounds.
That's how it's been. That's how it's been. We will not lie. And the ref's getting to midfield to discuss it. Now placing the ball at the 50-yard line.
So it looks like that penalty was added after?
So
I guess. I don't.
Yeah. After all that, the Dukes will be starting on offense. We're not redoing the kickoff. They will start at midfield, so great field position, trying to answer after Hinsdale Central scoring their first points of the game. How will the Dukes offense respond? We'll see right now. First play of the drive goes to Jake Mellion. Mellion up ahead. Good push from the offensive line, specifically by the center. Starting center is number 64. I believe that is Colin Cushing.
No, 64
is Lazar Todorchev,
but he plays guard. I think Colin Cushing, you're right about Colin Cushing starting. I think he's number 54 is
54. Cushing.
Close enough.
So now 2nd and 4 off the 6-yard run. Watson in the slot. Ball back to Mellion. Mellion wrapped up, and a great tackle for loss by Hinsdale Central.
That time the exact inverse happened. Cushing had a great push on that last drive, or last run, and then this time Cushing got thrown backwards by the defensive tackle. And a good job by him to get the sack, or not the sack, but the tackle for loss on Mellion.
3rd and 6.
So probably looking to throw here.
Matas Andrekinus with the one-handed tackle for loss, backing the Dukes up. Now a 3rd and 6. Momentum seemingly with Hinsdale Central right now, even though they are behind by 10. Dukes would love to keep this drive alive. 3rd and 6. Veza to throw. Veza chased out. Veza looking for men downfield. Firing at the last second, and it's caught by Luke Maylander down the sideline. Another broken play that goes for a pretty deep pass. Luke Maylander was the receiver this time. And just like that, the Dukes are back in the red zone. Veza completing the pass at the very last second.
For a gain of 33.
If he waited another
1st and 10
second,
York.
he would have been sacked most likely, or at least pushed out of bounds.
And that's exactly what really drives a dagger through your heart if you're a Hinsdale Central fan. And what Veza can do a lot is his improvisation is amazing.
Now 1st and 10, the fake pitch. He'll take it himself. Goes all the way out to the sideline, out of bounds.
Didn't really work well there. As typically running is a numbers game, and you want more blockers than defenders, but there was 1 blocker to 3 defenders. And if I remembered my statistics class right, 3 is greater than 1. So that play from the initial look was not looking too good for the Dukes. But Veza's still able to get a yard out of it, showing his talent and athletic ability.
2nd and 8. They give it to Mellion. This time he's right up the middle and right into the end zone he goes. Jake Mellion, his 2nd touchdown run of the game from 11 yards out. And the Dukes respond in a hurry. Lead back up to 16 with 5:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. They try to run to the outside with Veza, then just decided, let's go old school, just power running right up the middle. And Jake Mellion walking into the end zone.
Yeah, great reach block there by Cushing to get around the defensive tackle and seal him. And a good job by Lazar Todorchev, number 64, the right guard. Wonderful job by both of them to stop or to make the biggest hole I've seen tonight for Mellion, which led to an easy score.
We saw this a lot in the game against LT, where anytime LT would get some offensive momentum and put points on the board, the Dukes would strike back very quickly, and we see it here, responding with a touchdown of their own. Now up 24-17. Both teams exchanging touchdowns in this 3rd quarter. And as we wait for the kickoff, we will take a quick break. You're listening to York Sports Network. Kickoff from Damian Glodz. Received at the 10-yard line to the 25 before he's met. Evan Grazzini leading the charge on special teams.
We've been talking about Cole Ossendorf as the best linebacker all year. This is a great linebacker room, but he's really had a historic year for the Dukes. I don't know what kind of records the Dukes have historically with tackles for loss, sacks, and whatnot, so on and so forth. But I'm sure Ossendorf is going to break a few of those this year. But tonight, Evan Grazzini has been the best linebacker on the field for either team. He's had a wonderful night and been in charge of a lot of plays that have really resulted in poor results, to be frank, for Hinsdale Central.
Now 1st and 10 is a run that is stuffed by Grazzini right on cue and Cole Ostendorf right on cue. Talking about the two outstanding linebackers, Josh. They must have heard you and wanted to back you up. They surely did on that play. Loss of
the ball carrier gets back to the line of scrimmage.
1.
2nd down and 10.
Yeah, great job by them. Able to make a read and shed the blockers of Hinsdale Central and get there. And that's something that I've really noticed about the Dukes that I haven't noticed about many other high school teams that I've seen, and that's their form tackling is spectacular.
Contreras rolling out, looking to the left side, targeting Kolke just over the head of him.
Contreras' pass intended
Contreras
for
incomplete. Going back to what you were saying about the tackling, when we were attending some of the Dukes practices earlier in the year, we noticed that basically every other drill they would do would be something fundamentally related to like tackling or like physical blocking, and we see that's what the Dukes excel at. You can see it, they're like their power running and the offensive line always very sound with their blocks without getting holding penalties, and then their tackling as well.
Definitely. That's a great point.
So Coach Fitz doing a great job of just hammering home the fundamentals. That's where they build their success off of and their defensive identity. Now 3rd and 10, Contreras chased out of the pocket. Brewster in pursuit. Now he's looking to throw over the head, and it's intercepted by Matt Sutter. Sutter with Green ahead of him at the 30, the 25, the 20, and pushed out of bounds. The interception by the senior who had the game-sealing pick last week against Glenbard West. Coming up big here in the 3rd quarter. And the Dukes will be starting from inside the red zone. Contreras just ran out of time and forced the ball. It was an errant throw right into the hands of Matt Sutter. And a good return to set up the Dukes nicely, and they look to add to this lead.
Wow, what a turn of events. Really heartbreaking and demoralizing play there by Veza to start this whole thing. Obviously, that's the other Matt Sutter, who made that play. Did a great job by Brewster and Naraki on the back end to be able to nearly sack them, unfortunately tripping each other not to sack Contreras, but it actually worked out in their favor as they got a turnover off of it. But anyways, as I was saying, Vezo with the real heartbreaking play, the scrambling drill, telling Maylander to go deep, and then making a perfect teardrop throw to him, and leading them into the red zone off of a 3rd and long is going to be the game changer in the play that you look back when you watch the highlights on Max Preps or Huddle, or even if you watch back here on York Sports Network later. That's going to be the play that changed the momentum of the game.
1st and 10. A play that goes backwards, just a halfback draw to Watson, but the defensive line of Hinsdale Central was ready for it.
Brought down by
Yeah, but as I was saying, you might argue, well, it was 17-0, so how is the momentum with Hinsdale? Well, they just had a great offensive drive. They were about to stuff the Dukes and about to get the ball back and possibly make it a one-score game, a 3-point game it would have been, or possibly, obviously, a 7-point game if they got the field goal. So
2nd and 10. Veza on the rollout. That play was nearly intercepted. The two-way starter,
Veza's pass intended for
Farouk Alumika, said his name quite a few times tonight. Now a 3rd and 10. Fortunately, the Dukes are in field goal range. But they would like a touchdown, as most offenses do at any level. We'll see what they draw up. They need to get to the 10-yard line to extend this drive. And now 5 wide, empty backfield, rare formation for the Dukes. Veza throwing just like we predicted. He goes end zone for Specht over his head. Specht is on the ground. No flag, however. Specht was wishing that there was. There was some contact. The ref says not enough, so incomplete pass leading to 4th and 10. And out comes Glads. Not 100% sure. They're in the huddle right now. Yes, it is Glads. Just wanted to make sure. Don't always see the kicking field goal unit in the huddle.
One of the longer field goals for Glads attempted so far this year. The Duke's offense has found the end zone quite a bit.
A 37-yard attempt for Glads. He's 1 for 2 on the day. And they let the play clock run out again, so another delay of game. They did this last time.
Delay of game.
But this one will actually be quite influential because that'll turn a 37-yarder into a 42-yarder.
That's pretty far.
Which is very far, yeah.
You don't know. That first field goal attempt was not looking too great. Glotz settled in a lot more later, but we'll see. And a timeout called by the Dukes. Bet Fitz, my guess is Fitz was expressing some, let's call it frustration towards the ref on that play, as it looked a lot like
The Dukes.
As it looked a lot like Charlie Specht was pass interference. Sorry, my brain not working too well tonight in the cold. But he was interfered with on that pass, as it looked like to us up here, as he was tripped. So he's probably expressing some frustration. Now they're going to talk it over, and they're going to send the offense out there, as I see Matt Veza's number 9 out there.
Who passed away.
Yeah, but even still, with the delay of game penalty, that becomes 4th and 15 now. Just trusting in the offense, apparently, is Coach Fitz.
Balls it to 25, 4th down and 17.
A lot of trust here, but it is not misplaced.
4th and 15. Veza with ample time. Good blocking. Broken play. Trying to find somebody. Now airing it out, and it's intercepted. That's Gavin Vandeloon with the interception. Probably would have been better if he just deflected it. So now Hinsdale Central will start back. We'll have worse field position than if he had just batted it down. But nonetheless, an interception, one of the few for Veza this year. And the 4th and 15 play still turns out to be a change of possession. So despite starting at the 20-yard line after the interception, the Dukes come up empty. Big squandered opportunity there. Now Hinsdale Central breathes a sigh of relief, and they'll start with the ball on the 12-yard line, trailing by 17.
Bit of a confusing set of events there, but nonetheless, it's Hinsdale Central's ball after that. And the Dukes just kind of ran 4 verts and tried to hopefully that an improvisation would cause another breakdown in coverage.
Contreras on 1st down, rolling to his left, having to throw cross body, now cuts back to his right, escaping from all pressure, and ends up with positive yardage. That was quite the interesting play. Went to his left, then back to his right, then just decided to scramble with it, and ended up with positive yardage.
2nd and 5 for Hinsdale Central.
Wasn't really sure where that play was going from the beginning, but ends up a gain of 6. As we see a lot of the Hinsdale Central students clearing the stands despite 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Rare to see that at the high school level. But
I mean, it is cold, but Hinsdale Central came back from 19 last year in the 4th quarter. And tonight, it's going to be less of a lead unless the Dukes can miraculously, in the 2 minutes, put on a scoring drive. It's going to be less than 19. So a bit confusing at why there's no one there, and that's why the Hinsdale Central cheerleaders have decided to move in front of the parents instead of the students because of the lack of students that are here.
3rd down.
Meanwhile, a huge tackle for loss by the big defensive tackle, Jack the Sack Troutman, number 99. His best J.J. Watt impression right there. And now a 3rd and 5 for Central. Contreras looking through the air, now going deep. He's got a man. Oh, deflected at the last second by Jacob Young. Some zone coverage there by the Dukes. And Young using his speed to get to the pass before it reached the receiver and break it up. 4th and 5 now. There's the punt.
A little short.
Favorable Hinsdale Central bounce. Trying to wave it farther into Duke territory. Down at the 44, and that's where the Dukes will set up shop. Leading by 17 with 1:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Great defensive stand by the Dukes. A near interception by Jacob Young. It was a nice play by him, but it's a little hard to catch a ball falling backwards, so don't really blame him for dropping it.
1st and 10. It's a give to Melvin. Slipping a little bit there, but tackled.
Jake Melvin on the carry back to the line of scrimmage.
31. That is Magnus
Michael Gallagher
Kumskis.
and 31. Magnus Kumskis. No gain. 2nd down and 10.
So Melvin goes for no gain. 2nd and 10.
The 45 of the Dukes.
From the pistol, another running play for Melvin. This one goes for
Melvin
positive
on
yards.
carry
Tackled
once
at the
again.
49-yard line.
Gain of
So
the
3rd and
tackle.
6 upcoming. Duke's just trying to melt the clock
Pickup
away
of
with this 17-point lead.
4
Under 30 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
for the Dukes.
And with the play clock finally shown here at Dickinson Field, we can actually tell how much is left on it, and looks like they're going to let it, doesn't look like they're going to let it drain out. I thought they were going to let it drain out to go to the 4th quarter.
4 wide, and Magnus Kumskis jumping early on the play. I got to imagine that's what the Dukes were intending to happen, with just
Flag
letting
out
the
on the
clock
play.
melt, and it works out in their favor.
Against
So 3rd
Hinsdale
and 6
Central.
becomes 3rd and 1 after the
offsides.
neutral zone
Brings up a
infraction.
3rd and 1.
And now they
At the
can
40
just
at the
run
46
the
of
ball.
Hinsdale Central.
So now the official lets the clock run, and the Dukes will let the clock run out. End of the 3rd quarter, both teams finding the end zone,
That's the end of tonight's 3rd quarter.
but it's still a 17-point advantage for the Dukes. 24-7. We'll go to the 4th quarter. Can the Dukes preserve the lead and break the 10-game losing streak? We'll find out in a little bit. You're listening to York Sports Network. Third and 1, start of the 4th quarter. They give it to Melvin. Melvin stretching for the 1st down, and I think he got it. Good second effort by the junior. And now it'll just depend on where they spot it. Ref signaling for the 1st down. The Dukes keep the drive alive. And the issue with so many starters that play both on offense and defense for Hinsdale Central, the fatigue and endurance starts to set in the fourth quarter, just being on the field all the time. We'll see if that becomes a factor at all in this fourth quarter. Meanwhile, here is Melvin getting the ball again, gain of 1.
Yeah, and I mean also the majority of them are
after a short gain of
the majority of the players who play two-way are also playing on special teams. So there's legitimately not a moment, not a snap where they are not on the field, and that's got to be exhausting. And I am impressed with their cardiovascular endurance.
The Duke's likely just looking to keep the ball on the ground and keep this clock moving. Have a perfect sighting of the play clock. Going to use that as much as they can. Now they look to throw. Veza going deep over the middle. He's got Specht. Right through his hands. He had it in the end zone. That would have been an easy 6 for York. A rare mistake from the senior wideout there. Now it'll be a 3rd and 9. That may have been a cause of cold hands right there.
3rd and 9.
But he's got to be kicking himself after that.
Definitely. That would have been a nice touchdown. That was a wonderful throw by Veza and a nice pocket by the offensive line. So everything went well except for the drop, unfortunately.
Now 3rd and 9. Will the Dukes run it and try and let the clock bleed out, or will they keep the drive alive? 4 wide. Watson in the slot. Veza looking to throw. Firing down the left side over the head of Anthony Mancini. Intended wide out. And now it'll be 4th and 9, and the Dukes will punt it.
Pass intended for Anthony Mancini from Veza. Vandaloon and Connors on the coverage. Bring up a 4th and 9 for the Dukes.
Mason Belfans, the punter for York. Kevin Connors back deep to return, and Belfans with a beautiful punt. That's what you love to see. And I'm sure that's what Coach Egan, the special teams coordinator, loves to see as well. The ball rolls out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So Hinsdale Central will be very backed up at their own 7. So they really have their work cut out for them. They have 10 minutes to go. They need to find the end zone at least twice. Even with 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions, they would still be trailing. So the clock definitely not on their side. And in a situation like this, you'd expect the offense to come out throwing the ball a lot. We'll see how much trust Griffin has in his quarterback. Contreras looking to throw on 1st down. And
there
a
comes
flag comes. Yep.
Contreras
Flag will be on
pass.
Jack Korzenowski, number 22.
Got there a little early, to be fair. He's going to go palms up, as most cornerbacks would whenever there's a flag. But he got there right before the ball. A little too anticipatory from Jack Korzenowski there, and unfortunately going to get rid of this great field position that Mason Balfans put the Duke's defense in.
Might have been a little bit of frustration there, as McHenry was the one who scored the touchdown, then taunted Korzenowski earlier. So
very true. A lot of emotion among high school players.
Gives the Devils a 1st and 10 at the 23.
But I doubt McHenry is going to celebrate even if they score here, as they are still down a whopping 17 points.
Contreras escaping the pocket. In pursuit, forced to throw it away at the end. Look at the closing speed of, hard to see the number.
Pass
That is 15 Ashton Naraki. Another flag comes out at the end. I believe, hopefully that's intentional grounding.
I think it was, as there was no receiver in the area. It didn't make it to the line of scrimmage by definition of the rule. In the rule book, that's going to be intentional grounding, and the signal is given by the ref in the white cap. Intentional grounding is the call, and Hinsdale Central is going to be backed up 10 yards. Not 10, 5.
Going back to the last play, Ashton Naraki again. We saw that terrific closing speed. He's been very, very active this game. Definitely his best game as a Duke this year, I would say.
Definitely, I would agree.
Has a sack, couple tackles for loss, and basically a pressure on nearly every throwing play. So now it will be 2nd and 20. 2nd and 22. Pressure from Troutman. Troutman gets to him, and down goes Contreras. Sacked back at the 2-yard line. Jack the Sack living up to his name.
Jack the Sack went there
in the backfield by 99
unblocked,
Jack
so you know you never want to leave 99 unblocked. A play went semi-viral on Twitter and Instagram of the 49ers leaving 99 Aaron Donald unblocked. And that was a bad decision. So is leaving number 99, Jack the Sack Troutman, unblocked, a bad decision, as that was nearly a safety if Contreras didn't juke him out the first time, but then the second time not able to escape from him. And now they are a whopping 30 yards away from their first down.
3rd and 30, just forced to run a QB power just to escape their own end zone. And 9.5 minutes remaining in the game. Well, the 4th and 27, I think you have to punt it away, despite being down by more than 2 scores. And that's what Central will do. The punter, number 28, Ardit Abdullah. Punts this one away, nearly blocked. And another favorable Central bounce. Danko was setting up on the 35-yard line. The ball rolls all the way to the 45-yard line. So the Dukes will still start in Hinsdale Central territory.
1st and 10.
And a nice little stand from the Dukes, forcing Hinsdale Central into some uncomfortable situations. A couple of penalties helping them as well. Now the Dukes will get the ball back with under 9 minutes to play.
Oral.
It's always a great job by your defense.
Thanks for coming.
If you get the ball roughly where you left it whenever
and the Falcons.
You gave up the play or gave up on the drive and punted.
Jake Melvin on the carry. A gain of 4.
Melvin getting 4, tackled at the 40-yard line. At this point, I would say that there are as many, if not more, Dukes fans and parents in the stands on the far side of the field than there are Hinsdale Central parents.
Yeah, it's quite barren out here.
The cold must be getting to some people. 2nd down is a run to Jake Mellion. Mellion rumbling ahead. A terrific motor that kid has. He seems to never stop and always is seemingly falling forward. And nearly gets the first down on his own there. 3rd and short upcoming.
Brought down by a host of Devils. 3rd down.
Yeah, going to be a 3rd down and short, which will allow the Dukes to be able to hopefully keep the clock running, as they're probably going to run the
35-yard line.
Inside zone here is my guess.
Third down, there's the inside zone, just like you predicted, and it works out very favorably. Hinsdale Central must have not have seen it coming.
I think they must have, as that's probably been the play call for the last 8 or 10 plays. Don't really mistake Coach Fitz. I mean, obviously besides the drop touchdown pass, but don't really mistake Coach Fitz for that one, because you just want to keep the clock draining. Why throw a bunch of points up on the board? You're already up 17. Take what you got and just take the win home. Make it easy. Don't risk it.
Back to the ground goes Mellion. Very efficient on this drive.
Melvin
Every
once again,
single carry is gone for
brought down
at
by
least
Grant
4 or
Davis.
5 yards. Now, second and medium coming up for York.
And I mean, it's even easier whenever the run game is working this well to just continue to call inside zone
2nd and 5.
when you're consistently getting 3 to 5 yards every play.
Stacking the left side a little bit, but it's a zone run to the right side. Melvin misses sheds a defender near the line of
Melvin
scrimmage,
once
then
again.
fighting ahead. Looked like he got pulled down by his face mask. There is a flag on the play.
Brought down by Sean O'Haye.
Could be that
And there
face
is a
mask, but
penalty
I also
marker on the play.
looking at a holding probably as the white-capped ref or the lead official. Yep, and the Duke's offense is walking backwards. Was talking to a couple of the offensive linemen.
Well, that's a shame. So now the ball spotted at the 38-yard line. 2nd and 18 now.
Is that enough?
Now the Duke's offense has their work cut out for them. Under 7 minutes to go in the game.
2nd down and 17.
Now 4 wideouts
After the
on the
penalty
field
is
for
assessed.
York. And Vez is going to throw it, looking to make that yardage back. He attacks the middle of the field, and he's got his man. It's Luke Maylander into the end zone. Another touchdown for the
Vez's
Dukes.
pass
The junior
is
from
complete
38
for the
yards
touchdown.
out. Just a simple
Too late.
post route, beat
Maylander.
his man, and into the end zone. Dukes now have hit the 30-point mark. An extra point away from making it a 24-point lead with under 7 minutes to play.
Yeah, great job there. Same route as it was for Charlie Specht. But this time it was completed. That
Goals
extra point is good.
Goals extra point
Just like you
is good.
said, it was the same exact route. Couldn't have said it any better myself.
Making
Same
the
exact
stride.
route as the one that Specht ran that went through his hands
31, Hinsdale
last
7.
drive. This time Maylander able to haul it in and tacks on another 7 for the Dukes.
From Fitz, I really like mixing it up. They're expecting run the whole way, especially with
Here are
the run
final
working so well against Hinsdale Central.
winning lottery
They're,
tickets for the
you know,
stretch
thinking
lab.
as I said right before
This is
that,
quarter
saying,
number
you know,
4.
they're just going to run it out, take this
Number
win
is
home.
223.
Hopefully, right?
Second
Once
number
again,
is
we can't. I think there
187.
was about 8
So
minutes
the
remaining,
final
and they were
numbers
down 19. It's a little bit more than
tonight are
19 now. It's
39,
24 is the
330,
difference. So it's looking
93,
at less, but can't say, never say never.
57,
As you and
34,
York graduate AJ Switek were
and
saying
187.
last year, it was pretty much wrapped up, but then Hinsdale Central made quite the run back at it. So nothing is done until that final buzzer rings.
You gotta be thinking that that's on everybody's mind on that Duke sideline. And credit to Coach Fitz for dialing up some passes, dialing up some just plays that can go for a lot of chunk plays and touchdown level plays, just like we saw there.
Yeah, great job there. He's always been a master at calling the big play. Wonderful kick by Glotz that results in a
Glotz kickoff
touchback.
goes
It was actually
through
Will
the end
Check
zone.
on that kick.
Devils
Not
will
really
take
sure what
over.
happened to Glotz, but the senior backup kicker.
Does a little shoulder bump with backup quarterback Sean Winton. That's Cole Emmerich?
So starting from the 20-yard line, Hinsdale Central now with an even more daunting task. They go to the ground. It is Kellen Tran plowing ahead for 6.
Kellen Tran on the carry. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
Hinsdale Central has all 3 timeouts left, so at least they have that going for them. Tran getting the carry again, and he is driven back by Grazzini. What a game by him.
Kellen Tran.
Got to imagine he's leading this team in tackles tonight.
By Evan Grazzini.
And there's his most recent one. Now a 3rd and 3.
Gain of 2, 3rd down, and a long one.
It's good to see Jack the Sack Troutman as he had a stellar year last year. I think I remember he was in my Principles of Engineering class. I think I remember hearing that he had 16 sacks in a sophomore campaign that went undefeated.
Kellen Tran with a big run there. Getting all the way past the 40-yard line, keeping this drive alive. 1st down and more. Run of 13. Good blocking,
11,
that's for sure.
1st and 10 for the Devils.
Hinsdale still relatively methodical despite there being less than half a quarter on the clock still.
Well, good job by Tran there to get out of bounds, so it allows them to be methodical on this play. But good point there that they have not really done a lot of no huddle.
Tran gets the ball again, and the Dukes swarm him. Cole Ostendorf and Jack Troutman combining for the tackle.
The ball carrier brought down by Troutman.
Gain of
and
none.
24, Matt Barton.
Apologies, that was actually Matt Barton, number 24. The 4 and the 1 getting those a little bit confused. So good tackle by Matt Barton.
Just like he tackles physics concepts in our 5th period physics class. Shout out Mr. Paschke.
Trips formation, but it's disguised, and it'll end up being just a halfback stretch to the right side. Most of these runs for Tran have been designed to go to the right. It'll be a 3rd down. They need 5.
3rd and 5.
Got to imagine it's 4-down territory for Hinsdale Central, given the circumstance. And just really no aggressiveness. As we see Carter Contreras talking over the next play with the coach on the sideline. No real urgency or aggression shown by Central, despite being down by 24 points. Third down. Tran gets the ball again. Lot of running despite the tight clock.
Tripped up by Daniel Dallin.
And it's 4th down now.
Yeah, I'm
down and 2.
I'm gonna say it now that they're
gonna punt this one.
They're gonna punt it. Yeah, I was just about to say is that I've been wanting to say this, but considering last year I haven't been, is that Hinsdale Central is just going to accept the loss at this point. And they're all cold and want to go home, which I appreciate. I appreciate running the clock down. Oh, I thought that was a fake for a sec. I got faked out.
Snap. Bobbled snap, but the kick gets away with no harm down to the 22-yard line. Not the same Hinsdale Central we saw in last year's 4th quarter.
Yeah, definitely much different. As that's probably going to be the end of the game. Unfortunately, York can't kneel it out, so they're going to have to try and get a 1st down. And the Hinsdale Central, or 2. Hinsdale Central is going to try and stop them. They might do successfully or unsuccessfully. That can only be told by time. So we shall find out how much longer this game is going to take. I hope roughly the 3 minutes that are remaining on the clock, personally.
You ready to get out of here?
I am
cold,
quite
the
cold.
cold getting to you.
It's getting to me. It's been getting to me all night.
Give to Watson on 1st down. Tackled almost immediately.
Watson on the carry.
Here comes the backups. great point made by our cameraman, TJ Silkaitis, I heard, as he said, you know, why is Kelly in there? You don't want him to get injured. And that's a good point. And looks like Coach Fitz listened to him on the other sideline and does put in the backups, so no starters are going to get hurt, hopefully, for the rest of this time.
Now Sean Winton under center and Adam Fennell in the backfield. Adam Fennell taking this one to near the 30-yard line.
And speaking of our cameraman, TJ Silkaitis, I would like to thank all of our tech here tonight. Connor Choi as well. Jack Borchers, Matthew Kastner, and special guest, graduate and noted stats man himself, Gannon Rice.
The legend.
The man, the myth, the legend is here tonight just to hang out a little bit for the second half and run scoreboard. So take all your scoreboard complaints to him.
Here's a jet sweep now to Chris Danko. Danko a force on special teams, but with this talented Duke's wide receiver room, his time on offense is relatively limited. But with the backups in, we get York fans get a glimpse at what is to come in the future years. A lot of underclassmen, more juniors, and the occasional sophomore here and there that will likely be starting on this team next year. Guys like Fennell, guys like Danko.
With 1 minute left in the ball game.
You get a glimpse of the future of Duke's football. 4th and 5, the Dukes are going to punt this one away. Bell fans with a line shot that is caught by a Dukes coach on the sideline.
Good catch.
Under a minute to play in this fourth quarter, a game that has gotten out of hands of the Red Devils. Showed some life in the third quarter, but
will take over 1st and 10.
Unless a miracle happens, I'm talking 24 points in 41 seconds, the Dukes are going to advance to 7-0 and break the 10-year curse against Hinsdale. Backups in on defense, number 17, Connor Dorner, number 3, Cole Emmerich. All checking into the game. Now with 42 seconds, Central will likely just try and end this game.
Kellen Tran on the carry.
Tackle by Marquand Brewster, one of the few starters remaining in this game.
And that'll look like it'll train out because currently
that'll be the last play of the game. Yeah.
Yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. And
that's the final play of the ball game.
So Hinsdale Central already quick to line up and shake hands with the Dukes. The Dukes get top. The Dukes top the Red Devils for the first time in 10 years.
On Friday night,
what a game. Dominated start to finish by York.
The Devils will be at
2 touchdowns by Matt Vezin, 2 touchdowns by Jake Mellion.
The last week of the
led the scoring, and the defense did the rest, limiting Hinsdale Central to only a touchdown. Hinsdale Central team that is injured, but still very capable of putting up a good fight. However, the Dukes' experience and composure led them to victory, safe to say.
Yeah, this Hinsdale Central team's not going to fight for their playoff lives down the stretch. They have to win both games. They have to win at home versus Glenbard West, and they have to win, I want to say, at Proviso West. To my remembrance, looking at Max Preps, it was at Proviso West. We'll see. But they're going to have to win out to make it to the playoffs, and if they don't, they're going to end their 12-year playoff streak. Thank you all for joining us. Please like and subscribe. Once again, if you have nice things to say, comment down below. And as your mother said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So leave mean comments to yourself. We will see you next Friday at home versus the Battle of Route 83. Willowbrook at York. next week, Friday, 7:30. Join us on York Sports Network or at Clarence East Field. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Have a great night, Dukes fans.